Hi, thanks for joining us today. I'm Danelle Toner, trainer with Motives Cosmetics, and today we have Tasha as our model. And we're going to be focusing on our custom blend mineral powder. She is already a client of mine and has a custom liquid foundation that we made with this kit, but she is now interested in getting a powder foundation to wear alone. So we'll go ahead and continue how that consultation goes, the questions that I ask, and then you can watch as I make her custom blend. Okay, Tasha, so we discussed that you wanted full coverage and you wanted a matte finish.
That's correct.
All right, great. I'm trying to think. Let me talk about the supplies first. We have a blotting paper pack you get for $5 from Motives, and this is where we'll actually mix and record her recipe, which is great. And then I just store that for future use. I can just use the same sheet again to make her another one when she reorders it. Also, the powder foundation kit is $250 through Motives to get started, but it also includes your inventory, since you will actually be sending your clients home with the foundation that you make. So it's a really good price point, and there's a great profit margin with custom products, especially because you're the only person who can do it, usually in their area. If there's not a lot of Motives people trained on it, you have that upper hand. So in my beauty bar here in Claremont, North Carolina, we exclusively focus on the Motives products, and I am passionate about it, and I feel like it is the best makeup out there. So, Tasha, you love your custom liquid, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And what do you love about that?
It's right down to the T, the perfect color for me. I like the finish. I like how it's really flexible based on your skin complexion, your skin texture. You can do just a lot of different things that you can't do at a MAC store.
So why are you excited about a powder? Because we haven't done that yet.
Powder. I like the finish on powders. Trying to get away from the wet look some days, so maybe just an everyday wear to work. I'm looking for the powder.
Okay, perfect. Wonderful. Thank you. Ready? All right, so what you're going to need is the Motives blending paper. You get it for $5, and I like to keep it attached so that I can find it quickly, and then I file away these books, so I can always find a recipe rather quickly if I need it. Also, if you keep the paper actually attached to the notebook, then you have more leverage when you're trying to crush, instead of just one flimsy piece of paper. So I think that's a good idea. You're also going to need to get some jars. It doesn't come with the kit, so those are purchased separately, and you can get a pack of 5 for $15. You're also going to need the blending knife. You can get it for $5, also from Motives. You're going to need a smidgen measuring spoon. You can get that on your portal or at specialty kitchen stores. And then you're going to also need 1/8 of a teaspoon, half teaspoon, a quarter teaspoon, sorry, and a full teaspoon. So these are your equipment besides the kit. And you're going to start by drawing 3 circles. Each of these represent 1 full teaspoon, because this jar is filled with 3 teaspoons perfectly. All right, and so I usually leave these whole, and then the last one I divide in half, because usually I'm going to be doing something in smaller than whole teaspoon measurements. All right, so we have 3 different bases. We have the light base, we have the medium base, and we have a dark base. So pick whichever one is the closest to your client. So for Tasha, we're going to use the dark base and put the other ones back. And then I also like to address undertones. Tasha has a lot of golden undertones, which she loves and I love, and we want to keep that in her skin. So we're going to make sure that we have some amber toner as well. And then part of that golden honey color is a little bit of peach, so we're going to add sunstone in there as well. Now, Tasha, you can also have skincare additives added to your foundation. We have moisturizing, balancing to help with oil control. We also have firming for tightness and lightening for any kind of spots you want to help eliminate. So do you think you need anything added, or would you like anything added? Honestly, what would you like?
We can do some moisturizing.
Moisturizing. Okay. So usually we'll do 1/8 of a teaspoon of one, or you can do 2/8 of a teaspoon of 2 different ones. So we'll stick with moisturizing for her today and just do 1/8 of a teaspoon of that. And I'll go ahead and mark that as I'm doing it. So I'll just leave it alone for now and just keep these ones close by so I know that this one I'm going to use. You also mentioned you want a lifelike shimmer, but you don't want shine. So we're going to do Sunlight Gold, which has a real pretty golden tone to it. And then for your coverage, wanted a medium coverage, but you did want some concealer in it. So we're going to use the medium coverage enhancer as well. And that should be everything that goes into her foundation. All right, so it's kind of a lot, but we'll start with the dark base. And we'll do a full teaspoon of that. All right. And just go ahead and use the blending knife to make sure you have exact measurements. This is kind of like baking, where measurements matter. So a full teaspoon of the dark. And you write that in. So just looking at it, you should know that's 1 teaspoon dark base. Then for here, we're gonna definitely want to focus on the medium coverage enhancer. We're gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of that. It's going to lighten significantly the foundation because the medium coverage intensifier is a much thicker consistency. So we may have to go back and add more dark base later. So we want to make sure you leave some wiggle room. Put that in there. But that'll help cover under eye circles or any blemishes. I don't see any, but if you ever happen to get one, nice to have that in there. So it's the intensifier. All right, we also know that we wanted some skincare, so just go ahead and add that in there. 1/8 teaspoon moisturizing. Where are you? Okay, and amber. She has a lot of yellow undertones, so we're going to just do a whole teaspoon of amber. Which is more than I normally would do. But being that we know that the honey, caramel undertones. And the dark base is very cool. You can look at it and see that it's very cool. So it's going to need to have some color correction to match her skin. So we add the amber there. And we can do another 1/8 teaspoon. Let's do actually, let's just do some smidgens of sunstone. Let's just do 1, 2. 2 smidgens of sunstone for now. I like to write the smidgens out to the side because there's plenty of room for you to do these and have a couple smidgens added. And then it still leaves us with 1/4 and 1/8 to adjust. Alright, so we didn't have the Sunlight Golden yet though, which we know we wanted to do. This the last thing that I wanted to add. So we'll go ahead and do 1/8 teaspoon of that. Okay. All right, now it's mixing time. You want to make sure that you're applying pressure really firmly on the knife. That's what does all the work for you. Just the pressure. And while you're pushing down, you're swirling simultaneously. And that's what's actually crushing the minerals together. Almost done. But you can have custom blend parties. I did this. I've done this a couple times where I've had groups of 3 or 4 women, and they gather around the table, and I have enough supplies for everybody, and we just go step 1, and they have mirrors, and we just make our own. Everyone's making their own as I'm there to help, and we can all kind of help each other. It's a lot of fun, and it's great. You can have, everybody gets a custom liquid and a custom powder, and I sell the sets for $75 if they buy them together. It's good money for an hour and a half. All right. Good. All right. All right, I think we're done. I'll go ahead and put some on. All right, so we're gonna try. It was on your cheek and it looks great. We're gonna try it on her forehead. See how that looks. And you can just see Tasha has very, very beautiful honey skin tone. Just absolutely love the color of her skin. Jealous. I love that. And then we can do with contour powder. We can do the contour with we've got Lala's contouring blush and Bossy, which would look fabulous down here as a contour. But there you go. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and watch as I put the powder. We're going to just go ahead and use the tip of the knife and add Tasha's foundation into her jar. And you can get, at this point, tap it to make more room. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and add the sifter. Once I get it on, I like to flip the lid over, then it helps me lock it down. So then you want to make sure that you're looking at the edge to make sure that there's no unlevel parts, so it's very secure. And then now we can just put the lid, well, I want to clean it up a little bit. Go ahead and wipe the edge off for her. So after it's done, I like to put a little sticker on the bottom, and it says color matched for, and then put your client's name on it. Tasha, dated 12/29. I like to do that so that my client knows how long their foundation lasts. They'll actually come to see that their foundation is a much better value and it lasts a lot longer because we're able to have so much pigment in our foundation. Today we're done. It's Tasha's Custom Mineral Powder. Thank you so much for joining us here at Skin and Beauty Bar in Claremont, North Carolina. Once again, I'm Janelle Toner, trainer for Motives Cosmetics.